is an attempt to solve an impossible conundrum. That's the most frustrating problem of all. See, all sensible questions have sensible answers. How do you cook swordfish steak? Problem. Well, someone can tell you. It's quite simple. How do I draw a square circle? Well, the question doesn't mean anything. So naturally there's no answer to it. So how can I get myself into a state where I'm always happy? How can we arrange things in this room so that they're all up? Silly question. So was the other one. How can I attain peace of mind? Well, there's a Zen story about that, where the master says, bring out your mind and I'll pacify it.
Let's go.
And the questioner says, but when I look for my mind, I can't find it. He said, there, it's pacified. So that's the sort of thing that's going on in yoga. You know, you think you're a problem to yourself. And so that Guru says, find you. There was this great sage in India, Sri Ramana Maharshi. And people used to, he lived in modern times. It's not the same as the Maharishi that you know about from recent times. But Ramana, he was a wonderful man with the most beautiful, big, humorous eyes, and always sat half naked with a little loincloth around him. And he'd sit in a kind of patio or compound.
Check that one out. Ooh, hold up. Oh,
and read the newspaper. And sometimes he'd meditate, and sometimes he'd sleep, and sometimes he'd answer questions. And throngs of people came from all over the world and sat in this compound just to watch him. And there were chickens around scratching, and mothers feeding their babies, and dogs and so on. He took very little notice of it all, but they just wanted to sit in his presence. And they would come to him and say, oh Maharshi, who was I in my past life? And he'd come back and say, who wants to know? Oh, Maharshi, how many years will it take me to attain liberation? He'll say, who wants to attain liberation? Always, he'd throw every question back on the source of the question. Who are you? Well, that's something you see you can't get hold of.
Like this, I'll be like, you go down a little slow.
That's this thing, you see. Who am I? Wow. Who am I? Can't get it. So the yoga teacher sets you to doing this as fast as he can get you going, as ruthlessly, as relentlessly. Who are you? Find out when you breathe. What is breathing? Find out when you know. What is knowing? Get to the root of the matter. Ask, 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 inquire, inquire, inquire. And one day,
This is what you call
it all becomes clear. And it's so simple, that is the most difficult thing in the world to explain. It's like you just see, well, this is it. This is the way it is. There is no problem about it. Death, suffering, these aren't problems. They're awful if they are problems. The worst kind of suffering is that which you think there might be a way out of. When you know there isn't, it's easier to bear. So, this sense of it all being perfectly clear and simple and transparent. This experience now that you're having at this moment is what it's about. This is the beatific vision. This is cosmic consciousness. This is where it's at, baby, you know? And it just becomes clear like that.
Green.
But you see, when you say that to someone who may not have had such an experience, they say, so what? You mean it's just what's going on now? I would say, why do you use the word just for what's going on now?
Pulling. What?
Because that means you're only half awake, if awake at all.
Green.
You are bolting your life like some people bolt their food. And you think you've experienced now.
Green.
Or you say, I have now, after now, after now, after now, after now. Now, boop, that one goes down, boop, that one goes down, boop, that one goes down, boop, that one goes down. I still feel hungry. I want the good one. I hope that somewhere down on the end of the line in the future there's going to be a sudden now experience which will be, that's the thing I wanted. But tomorrow never comes.
That was the philosopher Alan Watts, and this has been my Slashing Playmaker. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time. To wherever you are out there, to you and yours, much love and appreciation. If you're into it, like and subscribe. If not, it's in your brain anyway. Peace.